Welcome to Transformative Talks, an intentional wellness podcast dedicated to education, enlightenment, and empowerment through meaningful connection. Through thoughtful conversations with fellow wellness and holistic practitioners, we explore the many pathways to well-being. Each episode is designed to expand understanding, spark curiosity, and offer practical insights you can integrate into your everyday life. Our intention is to inspire your own positive transformation and support you in creating a more empowered life. So hello and welcome back to Transformative Talks. I'm your host, Chelsea Gilbert, and today we're doing another installment of Beyond Bodywork. Today I have Julia Hyndman-Helmkamp with me, who's a massage therapist, artist, coach, and owner of Tulip Tree Healing Arts Collective. And I've had the pleasure of knowing Julia for a couple of years now, and she has her hands in some really fascinating projects and modalities. One of the cool things is she blends a lot of different aspects of bodywork and creativity to help people on their healing and wellness journey. She's also really big on creating and supporting communities. She's involved with a lot of different events and happenings and classes around Fort Wayne. So one of the first things I wanted to ask you was, you obviously are a massage therapist, like I mentioned. So what motivated you to go down the massage therapy path?
I went to college in South Carolina and I got an art degree, and I made really key friends that really influenced me to be open to a different way of living, kind of like the hippie, crunchy, alternative life possibilities. And they were very inspiring to me. And I was also struggling mentally and socially in different ways. And my senior year of college, we made friends in Florida. We were visiting. I had a very traumatic weekend, actually. I met people who did Thai massage, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? I need to know everything about it. And I gave someone a massage, and it was super grounding and brought me back to reality when my mind had kind of been to a place that was very fragmented. From there, I felt very called to learning massage. One, for practical reasons. I wanted to continue pursuing my art throughout the summer. After college, when I was trying to figure out what to do, it seemed like, oh, I could massage half the time for income, a stable income, and then I could make art in the other half, my own personal art, and vend it and share it in that way. I had to move back home to Fort Wayne, and I was very on the search for, like, I need to do Thai massage specifically. I didn't even know much about it. I just felt very drawn to it. And when I was back in Fort Wayne, working at Old Crown, and I was putting out there, I really want to learn Thai massage from somebody. I met a ton of massage therapists serving coffee that gave me a lot of different opinions. And thankfully, I met some Thai body workers who were like, no, you want to do Thai, you need to do Thai, like, trust your gut. And then very serendipitously, one day, Jill Harmon came in, and I was serving her coffee beans, and I was just like, oh, I really want to learn Thai massage. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm starting a Thai massage training in Roanoke, Indiana in like 2 weeks. And I had like thought about going internationally, Chicago, Florida, Asheville, all these places. I was living with my parents in Roanoke at the time, so it was like 5 minutes away. Thank God I studied with her, because she was then connected to such a rich and true lineage of teachings, really rich in the culture. Thai massage is rooted in Buddhist medicine and Buddhist thought. So there was no superficiality to it. It was very deep and very rich. And because of that deepness and richness, it totally changed my life. I discovered, for superficial reasons in some way, I wanted to be this powerful healer person, this idea of this zhuzhi, I know all the answers, I don't suffer thing. And then I went into it, and it's, chopped me down. It was like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, that is so egoic. And what are you doing thinking you're going to come in and be all high and mighty and know all these answers for people? Like, you don't know anything yourself. So it kind of chopped me down and took me down to ground zero of this total reality check that was very painful. and, definitely kind of sucked, but ultimately was awesome. So I moved back to South Carolina. I was kind of doing Thai body work on the side, and I was doing art. I was painting at the Poor House. So I was painting with bands all the time. I was painting at festivals. My life felt very creative. I joined a fire troupe. I was performing with fire and doing circus stuff, and there was so much expression happening. But at the same time, there was a lot of drug usage, masking, mental health issues with alcohol and drugs. And that was happening with everybody, including myself. So it was really sweet, but also not, because there was this element of not fully integrating and standing in our bodies and in our awareness and our perception, because we're clouding it, because there's certain things we're hiding from or avoiding in different ways. So in one way, it showed me this potential of like creativity and connection and expression, but then it also showed me like how toxic it can be. I mean, I've lost so many friends now every year. It's really sad, and it reminds me of why I left and why I do what I do, because I moved back mentally super unwell, had this dream of, wow, I really want to integrate creativity and expression and healing and wellness, and I'm not well. I need to get well in order to be at this place. And we need this creative expression, but it needs to be in a healthier way. And so then I moved back and I got back with Jill. And that's when I started doing somatic trainings with her embodiment program, The Joy of Embodiment. And that really kind of sealed the deal of this thing that started with the Thai massage training in 2016. And in 2018, I also did a LMT licensed massage training in South Carolina at the time to give me the licensure to be able to work more professionally with massage. But yeah, it changed my life, and then I wanted to help people in that way. And then I knew I needed to do a lot of work in order to get to that place. And I think why just giving massage in general is so healing for me. Is because touch was something I needed, but I was very scared of. There was like a wall I had to break through in order to show up to give somebody massage, fully present in my body. That's why I feel like I work with a lot of people who are touch adverse, because I totally get it. That's how I was. I felt so drawn to give massage, but I was terrified. I was terrified to do it. I wasn't one of those naturally touchy people. Now I am, because I've worked through that.
You said a few interesting things I want to ask you about. So, one of the things is that I noticed you mentioned it kind of was almost a catalyst for healing yourself. It brought a different awareness to the different things that you had going on within yourself that you needed to address, and the importance of healing that, because if you're wanting to help other people, it's good to heal yourself. And I think one thing that people don't realize is, when you go to a massage therapist or you go to someone that's done healing work for a long time for people, we've been through our own journeys as well. And we're probably still going through our own journeys. I know I am. Yeah, different levels of healing. So I thought that was really interesting that you brought that up. And I think that's important for people to realize that we're still in the process of working through and healing things. So I think it gives us a little bit more of like a compassion and empathy towards people as well. And then one of the things I wanted to ask you too, for people that aren't sure, like they might may have heard of Thai massage. What's the difference between how you offer and you present your type of body work that includes Thai massage versus a traditional massage?
What I offer is, I don't even call what I offer anymore Thai massage. I call what I offer integrated therapeutic body work, because I have integrated and worked through all the different ways and modalities that I've, studied. But my first introduction to body work was Thai massage, and I think that was so valuable. And still, the base of my work is at the view of traditional Thai medicine. I mean, definitely one thing I can say is people think on the surface, it's like Thai massage is this. You wear your clothes, you're on the ground, you get stretched a lot, and like there's a full body movement happening. And that can be true, but actually, Thai massage includes nearly all forms of massage. It actually is just how you're addressing it. How are you viewing it? Are you viewing it from the view of traditional Thai medicine? Or are you viewing it from the view of Western medicine or alternative medicine or different kinds of views? I'm not accredited to like educate on traditional Thai medicine in any way, but you're looking at it elementally. You're looking at it through the layers of the skin. You're looking at it through the channels. You're approaching the body in a way, in a very holistic way, and in an ancient medical way, that in order to truly understand traditional Thai medicine, my understanding is like you have to start when you're like 9 years old and study it for like 30 to 40 years until you're versed in it fully. I've studied it on and off, peppered in here and there for 10 years, right? And it's so traditional Thai medicine is this umbrella that like there are doctors of it, right? But there's all these different parts. Physical therapies are just one part of body work, but then you have things from divinatory practices to spiritual practices to cupping, scraping, magical medicinal tattooing. There's all these different pieces of it, but they're all coming from the view of traditional Thai medicine. And one aspect that you can commonly see is body work with the clothes on. And when you're on the floor, there's this way that people have practiced this body work form that they've gotten really wise, and they've really been able to leverage ways of like using their whole body to work on a body. And when you're using the floor, there's a way you can use gravity, and there's a way you can position your knee and or stand up and use your foot. But also, like if you go to Thailand, like sometimes you're not on the ground, you're on a table. I now work on a table just because of I injured myself, my practice changed. That happened about a year ago. And there's pros and cons to being on the floor and being on the table. But also, massage can be you are really anxious and you need to calm down. Let's have you undress and we'll drape you and we'll rub you with sesame oil to calm you down, kind of thing. So you still have that affleurage, you still have the petrissage, the Swedish techniques. Or you need a deeper work, you need some ironing in your limbs. That's deep tissue, essentially. Compression is like a unique part of it, holding really, really deep, long compression where you're just like dropping into a muscle, sometimes for several minutes, and letting the whole body just like release and unwind around that. That could be considered a unique thing, but I think you see that in other massage modalities too. Superficially, Thai massage can look a very specific way. And then if you kind of dig deeper into it, it's about how you approach your work rather than the work itself you're doing.
So you went to Thailand, right? Fairly recently, like within the past couple of years or so, or is my timeline off?
Yeah, no, I went in January of 2023. It feels like yesterday, but it was
Okay.
like actually
How
like
was
2.5 years ago.
So was that trip to dive more into Thai body work, or was that just a trip to go sightseeing and relax and enjoy Thailand? What was that like? I've seen pictures on your Facebook, and I loved all the pictures that you posted. So I was just curious about what that trip and experience was like for you.
Yeah, that trip was awesome. It was not a vacation. It was an educational boot camp. It was intense. 2023 was like, I I need to learn more Thai massage. Like there's so much there. I need to dive into it. So 2023 to 2024, I've been just like diving back into Thai massage the past 2 years. Now this year is like integrate year, but going to Thailand was like the catalyst of me getting back into the richness of Thai massage. And mostly the beginning was, girl, you don't know anything. It was a huge slap in the face. Like I went there being like, oh, I've been doing this for 7 years. I kind of know what I'm doing. But then we went to the Buntum school. And the first day I started touching somebody, they're like, what the F are you doing? Like, you're doing this wrong. No, wrong, wrong, wrong. Everything I was doing, wrong, wrong. And then there's the language barrier too. And then I'm starting to get red, right? And being a little like flustered and frustrated. And the instructor's coming over and he's like, you're being like a bull. I think he was calling me a bull. Bulls are considered stupid. If you're called a bull in Thailand, you're considered stupid is my understanding. But it was like everyone just kind of kept poking at me being like, you're being stupid and you're doing this wrong. In Western culture, if somebody came up to you and was like, you're being stupid, we would be like, my precious little ego, my feelings are hurt, you're calling me stupid, which is how I felt. But in their culture, they don't have as much self-focusing and things aren't so personal. So if somebody says that to you, it's not like a stab in the heart. So for 4 weeks we were there and it was just constantly being treated in this way that I had to constantly get over myself. I was able to manage it, but it was hard. I was calling it a boot camp of sorts because every day we would wake up to go learn something new, and then you'd be told you're doing it wrong, and someone would make fun of you, and then, it would go on to the next thing. So we went to the Buntum school. We went to a Jean Hampron school where we did herbal compresses, fresh compresses. We did steams, herbal steams. She fed us. She has like a gorgeous complex. We did Lucy Daton, which is the like Thai yoga practice, essentially. There's this whole gorgeous movement practice and spiritual meditation practice that goes with Thai massage if you're going in that route, and it helps take care of your body as a body worker too. It's like a whole complete practice. They've been doing it for so long, there's nothing missing, which is really cool. We got to go to Ajahn Knit, and we got sakyans, which sakyans are the magical tattooing forms. So it's medicinal, spiritual, like fortifying. So it's for protection. And then also a charm. It brings in what you want and protects you from what you don't want. It's a Buddhist medicine tattoo done with stick and poke by specific Lucy's. And we went to Ajahn Knit to that, he had like this gorgeous, beautiful space right in front of a shrine with like so many Buddhas. You get blessed. So there's like different masks of different Lucy's or animals, and they'll bless you with it. There's black wallpaper with gold Lucy's all over it. It was amazing. And so when I say Lucy, the R's are pronounced as L's. So it's Reusi, but they are kind of dying orientation of path for a human. They're the shaman monks. If you go in Thailand and you look in the temples on the pictures on the walls, they're the character that is typically no shirt with a wrap around their waist. That's an animal print with a wrap on their head. That's an animal print. And they were these like magical forest dwellers that have been around for thousands and thousands of years. They used to be way prevalent thousands of years ago, but they lived in the forest, and they were versed in either the magical arts or music or science too, or different studies. They're very studied in something. But they're also very connected to nature, and they also developed a lot of these medicines. The medicine texts that you can refer to today in Thailand and other Southeast Asian areas, I think, but specifically Thailand, are linked to the trainings and studies done by these Lucy's. And these Lucy's were so practiced, modern people don't understand the capacity that these ancient people had with their capacity of meditation, and like also not having all the distractions that we have today. It's kind of hard to have a really great capacity in this modern world because we're on our phones and there's a million things happening everywhere, and there's just like a lot of potential for distractions.
So it's really interesting as you were like describing all of that. I'm thinking of the idea of massage or body work in the Western mind is so different than like Eastern practices or practices that have been around for thousands of years. So just your experience and kind of having a foot in both, and actually having that experience and going to Thailand and having that firsthand teaching, what are some of the biggest differences that you see between Western body workers and Eastern body workers?
I mean, it depends, because if you go to Thailand and you get a massage from your general person who's just going to give you a massage, it's just there to help you feel a little bit better, which is most of what Western massage is, and you're just helping people feel a little bit better. But then there's also the massage, like the massage done by a doctor, where they're healing you with your massage. And of course, I like aspire to that. So like my massage is for health, although I hope that it really helps people. And so that could be one difference. Also, with like modern world and like, the movement of information, the Western mind has leaked into everything, right? Some people aren't protected from the Western mind, even in the East. So it's not so separate in that way. But what I see from people who practice maybe like in a deep lineage of massage versus Western massage, where just what I saw with people who practice within a deep lineage is the integrity that they have, and also the connection. When I was in massage school, one of my teachers, I would talk about Thai massage a lot. that teacher relationship, I think, is probably like the number one signifier. Is I had a deep relationship with my teacher. She had a deep relationship with her teacher. And that's like my grandfather teacher. So I know about my grandfather teacher and what they're doing. One of my teachers, you can trace it all the way back to the Buddha. There's a really honoring of your teacher and their teacher before them, and that passage of information. My Western teacher in South Carolina, he was like, how do I cultivate this deep student-teacher relationship? And approaching the work as its own living body, where Thai massage is its own living body, that its own thing. It's not mine. It's this stream of knowledge and wisdom that I thankfully get access to. Anything that I'm saying good and useful is because of what I've studied and learned from the care of my teacher.
It's really interesting because as you were talking about how, in more separate from Western culture, like there's a lineage where you came from. And I feel specifically in America, it's not just like that with massage and study and learning. It's like a lot of us just don't know where we came from. There's not that pride and diligence that people have in tracing their lineage and having ancestors because, of whole host of things, having to do with America in general. But I just thought that was interesting.
Right.
That felt like a parallel there. Yeah. So that was kind of interesting to note. So I did want to ask you too, by the way, I love that you talked about all that and that it's really good information. This is also from your viewpoint and your experience. So you have a background in art as well. I noticed like just the themes of some of your artwork is also about like healing and connection. Could you talk a little bit about like your journey into artwork and how that has helped you in your own healing journey and how you use that to help other people in theirs?
I've been making art since I was very little, like 5. My mom's an artist, and we just grew up in a home where there was a lot of art. There was a lot of opportunity for art, and it was something that I had a proclivity to, and I had teachers who encouraged that in me. So I was kind of lucky or privileged in that way. And I was even like doing theater shows. But then I was in middle school, hit puberty, all of like the dumb middle school stuff happened. People start bullying you, you start getting self-conscious. So then this creative part of me, I shoved deep down inside and I hated it. I would win awards and I wouldn't go accept the awards. I was very shameful about my creative part. And I ended up changing high schools and then I could reinvent myself. So nobody knew I was like an art kid. I was able to become the sporty jock for social currency or whatever. And then go to college, still just over this whole sport thing and really wanting to come into my art self, but still stripped and steeping in shame with it. So I think that shame piece kind of played into a lot of my self-medication, drug usage. And then when I started the healing work, managed to start kind of coming into touch with it. First seeing it, being like, oh my God, wait, I have shame around this and I've stifled this part down. And then I did some parts work and some other soul retrieval work. And it was like bringing that part of myself back to myself and giving it a platform and loving it and, just celebrating it. And when I moved back to Charleston and I was painting all the time, it felt like a celebration. Yeah, I was partying a lot, but also I was creating a lot of cool art with really cool people who we were all mentally struggling, but also it was a really special time too. And so that was kind of my moment of renaissance of I'm painting, hula hooping, I'm performing, I don't care. I'm in my body and I'm showing myself in that way. But I wasn't fully present and integrated with it all the time. Also, I felt how healing it was to give myself that permission. And when I got out of college even, I found out in Brave Intuitive Painting by Flora Bowley in 2016. And that's when I started doing the intuitive paintings. My intention was healing these parts of myself through intuitive paintings. And at that point, I wasn't so clear. I was into a lot of different things. I was into alternative medicine and new age spirituality and all this stuff. And I didn't really know the history or the lineage of things. And I did an intuitive painting series through the chakras, or then I call them the energy centers, of like tuning into different parts of my body and painting from that part, or like dabbling in visionary art, things I was envisioning and seeing. Like I had a shavasana after a yoga class, and I had this vision of this beautiful like pink and blue woman pouring healing water all over me. And so then I tried to translate that into art. And so at the time, it was really self-actualizing to give these visions a 2D picture moment, and very exploratory, and opening and expressive and free to give myself space for this intuitive painting journey that I did. And then mostly what I loved about it was the freedom piece of it. So that's where for like 10 years, I wanted to teach intuitive painting classes. And now it's so funny. This is the year I'm finally getting to do expressive arts classes. I've done some education since then. I've done somatic work and embodiment work. And so I'm able to stay like present, sober, embodied, and with all the people as all the things that come up as we give ourselves space to do the expressive art, to be totally free with the paintbrush and have no expectation. I think it's so beautiful because it gives you the opportunity to be free and uninhibited. And also then you have to make decisions and make choices and trust your decisions and choices. And then in order for the painting to find completion, there's parts of it that you have to let go of, even though you think they're beautiful. But to find completion, you have to let go of it. It ends up being this really nice journey, this art making journey. It's like the topics and focal pieces that I used to like to paint, I've changed so much because I don't really I've like divorced myself from new age spirituality a lot, and also alternative medicine stuff, just because it wasn't helpful for me. It didn't bring me more clarity. It actually brought me more confusion. The topic of my paintings have changed, and I have all these paintings from this time in my life that I'm actually kind of in this place of, what do I do with them? Because I love them because they're from this time and I think they're beautiful, but also like I don't fully like adhere to that anymore. Trying to figure out what to do with them is kind of a journey.
Do you sell your artwork?
Yes, I do. And I'm trying to just sell these pieces, actually. That's my hope, is to sell all these to get them, because I know they're beautiful and I know people love them, and I want to like let go of them to make space for the new art that wants to come up with this new way that I've developed of making art. It's just like so hard to find time with everything else that I do to paint. And I don't want to put it off. And sometimes I joke like, oh, when I'm 50, I'll really be thriving as an artist. But it's funny that that was the motivator for why I wanted to do massage. Like, oh, if I do massage, then I can do art. But that's been so hard to do.
Go figure.
Actually,
It's
yeah.
interesting too. I notice a lot with myself and other massage therapists. We all kind of have this need for a creative outlet as well. Creativity, it feels like it plays a big piece in healing and connection with yourself in general. So I just see a lot of body workers that either they do paint or they're involved with dancing. That's another thing that you do as well. I don't know if you still hold the events, the Easy Step It events. Do you still do that?
No, we're on a pause with the art and dance experiences. They were a lot of work to put on, and then there was only so much like financial piece that was coming in. The reality is, unless I have a ton of extra time and energy, they're not so sustainable. But we're still doing aesthetic dances and embodied dance movement and stuff like that. And I don't know if this is for everyone, but what I recently noticed is, like, to me, it feels like the art piece is like more mental. Like you're moving your body less, and you're like getting your busy mind in a way to like unravel out on the canvas in some way. Where ecstatic dance or embodied dance movement, to me, it feels less mental and more of an embodied thing. You're not thinking through things in your mind. You're just feeling the sensations of your body, and you're letting yourself move through them. So there are two different avenues of like ways to express, but it feels like, to me at least, that you're expressing a different aspect of yourself. But then you can do both, and you can dance and you can paint, and then that's fun.
So at these events, because I've been to one of the ecstatic dance events, which was really cool and I really enjoyed it. Do you ever see people come in that it's their first time doing something like that, and you kind of see a shift or a switch in them where you can kind of tell, oh, they're starting to connect with their bodies and they're starting to feel things.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't watch people very much during a static dance because I want to like respect their privacy and like it's not really so much of a voyeuristic thing. But at the end, we open up for circle and everyone gets to share what their experience. And I've gotten to witness the most gorgeous, beautiful shares from people of their journey into finding that freedom for themselves in connection with the group. And there's countless ones. And like sometimes I've been like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of work. I don't know if it's worth it to keep doing it. But when I get those reflections from people of how powerful and healing it is for them, that just like keeps me going. That part is so sweet because it's like going to your first ecstatic dance can be like the scariest thing ever. And then it can be the most liberating, freeing thing ever. The first time I went, it took me a year to go, several years to go. And then by the end, I was crying and having all these connections and specific things in my life and my childhood. And there's something really powerful of like not talking, but just interacting with dance and sound with people for 90 minutes where you feel a couple things like loneliness. So many people have been like, I felt so lonely until I came here kind of thing. And then feeling like the space is really safe and they can explore these ways. Like you're dancing, you're like, I kind of want to move like this right now. You're like, is that going to be weird? Is anybody going to think I'm a little weird right now? And you're like, screw it, let's try it out. And then you try it out and everyone's like, yeah, like loving it. And I feel like that part can feel so good. And I've gotten feedback from others that that can feel really good for them too. And then, yeah, of course, if I do ever look up and I see people out there like really getting it on the dance floor, it warms me up so much.
So, for people that have never done anything like that before, when you facilitate, at least the experience I had, it was kind of like there's a DJ there with the music, and then it's just kind of have a little powwow to begin with. And then the music starts, and everyone just starts doing their own thing. How would you describe that to people if they're coming to you asking what the ecstatic dance events are like?
Yeah, freeform dance experience, 100%. We have a 20-minute warm up that's guided to help, get you out of your mind, into your body a bit more, let go of the day, really show up and arrive into the event. And then for 90 minutes, we start in a circle. We go through the guidelines of the dance, being like no talking on the dance floor. This is a sober experience, no photos and videos. This is how to non-verbally partner dance with someone if you want to. And then everyone says their name. They're invited to say their intention. And then we do 3 ohms, or if you don't want to, it's totally optional. But then that kind of signifies the beginning of the dance. And then from there, it's a freeform movement dance meditation. Nobody's going to tell you what to do. You're on your own journey, following your needs, your impulses, what you want to do, how you want to be. If you want to go lay on the relaxation station for a while, if you need to step out of the room to drink water or go to the toilet, if you just want to like dance around on the dance floor. Typically, I feel like the actual dance part's like 70 to 80 minutes, but the next 75 minutes are all yours. And then at the end, we end in the same way in a circle. We open the floor for people to share their experience or reflections or feedback or what have you. We do 3 ohms again to like seal the end of that. And then we open up for community announcements. You can invite people to like your yoga class, your garage sale, your party, your event you're throwing. And then that's the end.
And currently, you're only holding these in Fort Wayne, correct?
Yes. Yeah, we do a Fort Wayne Dance Collective first Sunday of the month at 6 p.m. And then third Sunday of the month at In Body Connection, we do 10 a.m. But then our DJ Pumas, Alejandro Soto, he has worked with this lady Bethany, and they do a static dance in West Lafayette at Purdue, which is like a newer thing they've been doing. I don't know the regularity of it, but it's usually on a Sunday. They call it like Sunday Dance Church or something like that. Bethany Granoff and Alejandro Soto.
Nice. So you have the dance events, but you also have the art classes that you host, correct?
Yeah, so then I do expressive arts classes with In Body Connection and then at the Peggy Murphy F. Grief Center. So that's Paint Expressive. And those classes are where we have the supplies for you and then we have 2 hours to make art. So I was joking that it's like the art making of a static dance, where mostly I start out with like a prompt to get you going, but then, and I give you guidelines on like color theory, or like if you're trying to, and it's a layered thing. I'm all about like layers. So you put like your bottom layer out, then sometimes we take a break to do like a dance or somatic movement practice or something like that. And then you come back once that layer's dry, then you can add a new layer of stuff. And I give some suggestions of like, oh, these kinds of mediums might be good to order in this way, and embellishments you can glue on at the end. And I give some like cues of like, reminding people to relax and let go and like take the pressure off of like, you don't even have to love your piece. Just like let yourself like make what you're feeling called to. Like try to just like give yourself in wild abandon to like, oh my God, I just want to like draw a yellow marker over here, and I want to put a little green over here, and just let yourself explore an abstract expressive art making process. That is really hard. I mean, it's really hard and really scary for most of us, especially at the beginning. Like it brings up everything. So far, it's been like, unless it's like a practice, you get better at it, or you get more used to that experience of meeting that fear and resistance and maybe like shame or something like that shows up when you approach it. But and I'm very well versed in that. Like I did live painting for years, and I was facing that fear in front of a group of people, which was terrifying. At the end, we usually find a place where we can land. And also sometimes the way the art piece, at least for myself, is like you make the art, you maybe only have so much understanding of it, but then you can take it home and put it on the wall and just like look at it until you can look at it through eyes of love, and you can appreciate. It's an example of that time of your life, of whatever you were going through, whatever was alive in you at the time, letting yourself find a new understanding with that piece. It brings up a lot. There's like a different kind of letting go. It's different than just letting go of your body. You're like letting go of making a piece that's like a piece of you. But like you can look at it and reflect on it and really see it. And I feel like that increases the pressure of, oh, I've got to make just the right mark in just the right way. And a lot of people have been in school where their art teacher said terrible things to them about how they'll never be an artist, or some person in their life said that to them. So it like brings you back to that moment.
I think we all need to channel Bob Ross when it comes to
Right?
art, where I used to watch that. I think a lot of people did used to watch his show all the time, and just the idea of it's a happy little mistake. It's a happy little tree. You can make it the way you want it. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. Basically just what you were saying.
Right.
So, do you offer any virtual services? I noticed you do coaching as well.
Yeah, for a time I offered my somatic stress release coaching in virtually, but I didn't have much interest in that. Everyone wanted to be seen in person, and I didn't have many people who were from out of town. And I think also like we came out of the pandemic. I started Tulip Tree in 2022, officially like January 3rd, 2022. And people are still fresh enough out of the pandemic. They're like, I'm tired of attending a Zoom call. I've been doing it for 2 years. Like, I need in person. So, but I like the versatility. If we were in a situation where it had to be virtual, I could shift to virtual. But mostly I just focus on in-person work right now.
Okay. So again, you just do so much cool stuff, and I love how you incorporate the body work and the hands-on healing stuff with the encouraging people to tap into their bodies and move, and encouraging them to be creative.
There was one part where we were talking about when you're asking the difference of the Eastern and Western body workers. One thing that was really big for me, at least, and I feel like I've seen with other people, because we don't get encouraged into this, but discovering this was so helpful for me, because I was majorly confused in a lot of different ways, and this brought so much clarity, was understanding the view that you're coming from. Like, how are you seeing it, rather than this is the way the world is. It's like, oh no, I'm wearing Julia glasses to see the world, and my glasses are influenced by my studies in this and my studies in this. For me, that was like so helpful, and I'm still understanding it.
We don't know what we don't know, and realizing that within ourselves, that there's so much more out there for us to know, and there's so many rabbit holes to go down when it comes to learning different viewpoints and understanding where you're coming from. There's the learning of the external stuff, but there's also this deep learning of internally and like how you function and how you think and your own viewpoints and everything. So I get what you're saying about that. I think that's really neat too.
Yeah, there's the nihilistic view or the internalist view, even just being like, oh, I'm going to put this lens on right now, or I'm going to put that lens on right now. I feel like it creates more space also from how you're seeing things so that you don't feel like so attached and so personalized by your opinions and thoughts because you're like, there's like a separateness.
Those are good takeaways. So thank you for sharing that. How do people get a hold of you and connect with you if they want to either come to some of your events or procure some of your services?
Yeah, if you go to my website, tuliptreehac.com, you can book an appointment with me. You can see what we have on our events, and then you can also sign up for our newsletter where I post, because some of the events I do in collaboration and partnership with other businesses. So you can see that, like I'm going to be having a hula hoop series coming up with a yoga studio here in Fort Wayne soon. You can see those kinds of things through a newsletter. And then we're on Instagram, TikTok. We have a Facebook page. You can email me. tuliptreehac is the handle. And then my email is julia@tuliptreehac.com.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on here and chatting. That was a really good conversation. I liked hearing about all this stuff in Thailand. I thought that was really cool. I haven't traveled outside of the US yet. That's like on my bucket list. I have several other places I want to go, but Thailand's definitely on the list there. So that was awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, you should go. So I went with Paul Fowler of Blue Lotus Thai Healing Studies in Chicago. He does a Thai adventure once a year in like January, February. And you can go with his group and he will take you to all these places to meet all these people. And he's been going there for like 25 years. He's really cultivated some deep relationships with people. Fowler, Fowler.
So I'll have all of Julie's information on how to connect with her in the description below. And I'm going to put that about Paul Fowler too for anyone that's interested. Any body workers out there watching that are interested in Thai massage or anyone that is interested in just going to Thailand in general. That sounds awesome. So well, awesome. Thank you so much, Julia.
Thanks so much, Chelsea. I really appreciate you having me on here.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms so you never miss a new episode. If you're a holistic or wellness provider or someone with a healing journey you feel called to share, we'd love to connect. Visit www.tjtbodywork.com to reach out. And please make sure to join us for the next episode of Transformative Talks.